Yo, what's up? Hope everyone's doing well. It's your boy, call me Mitzi, back. Doing some more Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. I definitely shouldn't be, because I'm extremely stressed about school. But you know what? It's Yu-Gi-Oh time, you know what I mean? It's always Yu-Gi-Oh time. So yeah, I know it's been a while since I've done like a talking video. Since Trailer's been released. Tear's been my go-to deck since then. I made one. It only cost me 7,000 gems. I'm sorry, boys. I know I'm scum. But the deck is a lot of fun, especially in the mirror match. I've been having a lot of fun in the mirror matches. So I have a couple good replays for you guys lined up. If you guys want to see the deck, I'll just leave it at the end. You guys can look. Yeah. I'm gonna hopefully get to Plat or Diamond 1 or Diamond, sorry. I'm just gonna do it probably with a different deck, so maybe be looking for a Labrynth video soon. These are just replays of some decent games that I didn't want to delete because I thought they were pretty good. But yeah, they're also very extreme, so especially in the Labrynth Mirror. I should have looked at the match, I should have looked at the deck, but at least in the mirror match, this deck can go really good. So let's look at our opening hand. We got a Diviner. I'm gonna go over some just basic combos pretty much. I don't want to go over all the combos because too much stuff happens. Pretty much I use Max C because he's got a special summon, but what you have to do every time is try to make a Abyss Dweller before you mill with your Tearlament names, unless you don't have a very good hand, in which case you want to just mill with your Tearlament names. Or if you have your Ishizu Millers, you want to start, if you have your Shufflers, then you can just start milling. So like in this situation, I'd be okay with milling because I have a lot of Shufflers in my hand, and I would be able to just discard them for cost. So I kind of just want to negate the Rukalos. The Rukalos is kind of their big extension, so Imperm the Rukalos. DD Crow does not work on them because it will still activate its effect, but it will banish it, which is a huge play. And then he played an Abyss Dweller. I could have negated the Abyss Dweller, but I just wanted to stop him from going into any extra plays with Kick Kalos. He turned off my graveyard, so I couldn't use any of these effects, but at least I have level 2s in the grave now. So I start with Medora, and he Abyss Dwellers me. This is kind of bad for a mirror match because now I can't go into any of my graveyard effects. So I just start off by using my Shufflers because the Shufflers are no longer going to be usable this turn. At least one of them, so that I can just start shuffling the deck. And he uses these because they're not going to be usable this turn anymore, I guess. Which, in my opinion, isn't always the play because you're banishing them, so they're not going to be usable ever again in the game. Okay, so I'm going to... also, it's late, so I'm going to make this video hella fast, right? Fuck it, we're balling, you know what I mean? We destroy this by battle because that won't activate its effect. We set 2 cards because we can tag out with Baron de Fleur, but we're not going to unless we use our Omni Negate. We use our Omni Negate because he only has 2 cards, and this was going to summon a Kick Kalos, or it would have summoned a monster so that he can go into another level 4 play. We summon Rhinoheart here because that's our best extender. And we send Havness just so that we can use Havness's name. Just keep in mind the names that you've already used and sent to the graveyard. So I send Merly because I haven't used Merly yet. Merly, Sheeran will mill 3, and then we'll fusion summon Merly, making a Collider Heart. And then we're just going to finish the game because we already have multiple And yeah, so that's against the mirror match. Pretty nice way to play around Abyss Dweller. You just try to negate their monster effects. Make sure you stop their extensions as much as you can. Should be good to go. This is against a Spright deck. Your Spright playing some back row hate, some DD Crow hate as well. Tearlament has been getting a lot of hate with DD Crow, but honestly, DD Crow is not enough. 1 card hand trap is not enough. So this is a straight up Ishizu hand. We're gonna use this to try to make an Abyss Dweller play. He negates this, which is actually smart. Well, it's not smart, but it's better for us because now we can well, we don't have to go into a mill 5, but we do it anyways, because, you know, your boy, he's all about that mill 5 life. Make another level 4, and then we use this to special summon. Hit Kalos from the graveyard, 2 monsters, so just keep in mind that I've already used, keep in mind the names we've used. So we used Havness's name, and then we just milled again with Merly and used Kit Kalos, and then now we've used Sheeran's name, so now we only have one name left to fusion summon with. And I think that name is a Sheeran. So we always have one more special summon, but we leave it. We could have made Elf here, but I left Medora so that we can make sure that Rukalos is not targetable. And also, during their turn, we'll be able to summon Kelbeck. We'll be able to use Rukalos to negate a monster and then send Merly, so Merly will be able to fusion summon. And yeah, we can go back into our plays from there. Also, we have Maxi. So, Babushka is the negate, Floodgate. So yeah, this is a nice play. If you guys have level 4s on the board, the way I like to see it is Time Thief is a good way to do extensions for next turn. Baguska is a way to keep advantage if you just want to like get them to pass turn pretty much. And Dweller is against the mirror match if you need to combo and you don't want them to. Okay, so he negates Max C, and I use Kelbeck to send a monster to him. I didn't think he had starter in his hand, otherwise I wouldn't have sent that monster. So now he gets to pop off, but Baguska's still here, so he has to go into a link monster so Baguska can't negate it. But even still, there's not many plays for him to make. So just remember, Baguska is a great way to get advantage. If he goes back into Gigantic, then his advantage negated. So yeah, Baguska is a really big play here. And he just passes because he realizes this is enough to kill already for him, or for me, and I can make another XYZ play if I wanted to, or even a Zeus play. So yeah, that's kind of an idea of why this deck is broken. That just beat a tier 1 deck that I used to be running tier 1 about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now we're going to be looking at a mirror match. So hopefully you guys are seeing the lines. I know this is kind of repetitive, but I personally think these games aren't the only wins, and also some of the losses went crazy too. Now, this is just kind of how you control the game state. There's a lot of games going second, and you know, in my opinion, if you play the game going second and you have a decent, a decent hand, or a decent way to play going second, that is, then it's a pretty good deck, pretty fun deck to play. So I ashed the summon or the search with the field spell, and he uses triple tack to send back my Imperm, which is honestly a smart play. But I had 3 hand traps, so Havness is gonna activate, send 3 cards. We only got the traps milled, so not super great, but we'll get another Havness for next turn in case he tries to go into another play. Hit Kalos, hopefully we'll mill an Ishizu name, and then we can pray that we get our own cards. He doesn't go into one, instead he gets he comes to Kalos, so that's his, I think that's his 3rd fusion summon, and he also has a field spell, so now he can destroy any monster, and he got an Abyss Dweller play on me, so he negates with Rukalos my special summon of Havness. Honestly, I don't know why. I got my own field spell, so now he's not the only one. I don't have any millers though, so that's kind of an unfortunate series of events. And my graveyard is shut off, so I can't really do anything about that. What I can do is make a level 2 play since I summoned Merly. That's why I summoned Merly instead of Reinhardt this turn. Because now I can use Merly, and next turn if he does anything, I can use Crime to negate. Send Reinhardt, fusion summon from the graveyard, or rather, I can use it pop card. The pop one is really nice. I was using this to send back a Tearlament name so that now I can pop card. But he doesn't let me, and I use it to summon Max C. I don't know why I summoned Max C. I think this was just because he was about to end the turn. End into battle phase, so I wanted to use Elf before it was over. At least now there's no Abyss Dweller, so we play through Abyss Dweller once again. We use Elder Entity, so that's the nice thing about Herald. Herald can send the Elder Entity and destroy a card on the field, and it'll be material for a Baron de Fleur play, so Baron de Fleur will pop another card, so that's a pop swap. Herald, which is really nice in my opinion. And then we also have an Omni Negate, of course, with Baron. So we have the Baron Omni Negate and once per turn pop. Now Baron's pretty much big play. We can use Reinhardt now. Once we see what he has, he uses that to search, but we're gonna Ash that search so that he can't get Havness. Havness would stop our plays, but now we have Reinhardt will send, and we'll go back into our plays, summoning, fusion summoning from the graveyard with 3 of our monsters. So remember, you just have 3 names, not too many. It's honestly not super crazy, but it's still really good. You can make a lot of Endboars out of it. So this was playing against a pure hate deck. This deck was made to beat, I believe this deck was made to beat us, made to beat Tearlament. So yeah, gonna just go into this game against the Tearlament hate deck. I don't even remember this game, to be honest. To be completely frank with you, I do not remember that. Not a great hand. I'm just gonna set 3 and pass. Neither of these traps are activatable. Imperm will be a negate though. He destroys every single trap. Or at least we'll get Havness if he does a summon. He doesn't summon, so we wait. Once again, we don't get anything. Reinhardt's the perfect top deck because now fusion. But he max C's, so now we have to decide what we want to do. I decided to give him 1 card so I can summon a negate. This card just is a negate of a summon. It spins back. Well, no, sorry, it's just a spin back. And then I can use this to fusion summon next turn if I want to. Alright, I thought this was level 8. My bad. So he uses Pot, searches Pot, it's kind of funny. And then he tributes my card, uses Owner's Seal to add back the card back to his hand. Okay, I have a Sheeran, and now that I know that he's not a Ishizu deck, I'm just gonna start milling like crazy because that's the whole power of this deck. So we milled 4 cards, keep milling, honestly. I think we just milled like 16 cards. It's activated everything, honestly. I can't tell you every specific thing, otherwise this would be like an hour-long video just for this one game. So I'm just gonna say there's 3 fusion names. Try to activate each monster on the field and each fusion on this field, and try to make 2 level 4s in the form of Sheeran, Reinhardt, or your other Ishizu cards. These level 4s can make you either Baguska, like I said, whatever XYZ, depending on the situation. If you want advantage, then you can do Time Redoer. If you want to just hold on, then you can keep Baguska. And then if you want to play against a Mirror, that's when the Dweller comes out. So. Yeah, that's another game down. This is a lyrilusc. I'm not gonna go too intense in the games that are mirror matches. As a mirror match game, or in the games that aren't mirror matches, because this deck, like everyone knows, is tier 0. So I'm just gonna show off some games of why it is tier 0. I mean, why not? I'm not even getting great hands in these games, which is kind of funny. So we can send a card. Special summon, normal summon. We make Dweller and pass. So if the monster is summoned while we control a, pretty much we're just making in a best Dweller and passing, and hoping that we run into a Merly or some sort of interruption. He called buys, but we have a Shuffler, so that's another good play you guys should know. If you guys have a Shuffler in the graveyard and you activate a card and they try to call by you, you can just use the Shuffler to negate. He sets a card and passes, so this is Tri-Brigade. I don't know if he bricked or what was going on, but the attack, there's nothing we can do. I would rather keep the Abyss Dweller because I think they have graveyard effects. I'd rather just keep the Abyss Dweller. And then I activate this so that he can't send any cards, so that he can't make it useful. He makes a level 1 play, and I knew this because I saw 2 level 1s, so I just activated Max C. He sends a card, searches a card, but he doesn't want us to do anything else to stop the Max C play. I top deck Reinhardt again. Somehow I just keep top decking the best cards in the game, which is really broken. Please nerf this deck. Honestly, in my opinion, you need to hit Reinhardt. You need to hit Reinhardt like down to 1. Honestly, that would be enough to make this deck, because it's just the XYZ plays. Being able to do so much, and then if Diviner was not like such a good card for this deck, I mean, I just turned off the graveyard, milled cards, and once I saw an Ishizu card, I just used Abyss Dweller. Abyss Dweller just makes it so that none of his graveyard effects works. And now I can pop off with all my fusion summons. You can see we have a lot of level 4s. If we were trying to make more plays, we could go into an XYZ play, but we just had enough for OTK. Otherwise, we would go into like a Zeus or something, but there's really no need at that point. Yeah. Now, Ancient Warriors. I remember this game being a little bit longer than it should have been. This game. So, I remember this one being pretty good. Yeah, I know, this deck is really broken. But hey guys, if you made it this far, I can tell you a couple cards that are really broken against it. Dimensional Shifter, Dimensional Barrier. You can use Soul Drain. You can use Dimensional Fissure. Pretty much all of the dimensional cards. You want to just make sure all of the Ishizu names are sent to banish instead of the graveyard. Because once they're in the graveyard, that's when all the effects pop off. As long as they're in the banish, there's not a lot you can do. And that's why I'm planning on making my run with Labrynth. Labrynth goes pretty well around that banish. As long as you can get a compulsory or something, which is not hard to search. Sorry, I should not be talking about Labrynth. I'm getting sidetracked. This is the same combo you guys have always seen. Side note here, you guys see me summoning Merly here. I think I've already used Rhinoheart, so if you've already used Rhinoheart, just use Merly. Merly's gonna mill the top 3, and then Rhinoheart, or Kit Callus is gonna mill 5. So that's a mill 8, right? I've already used Rhinoheart, no point in wasting that effect. Or rather, I'm gonna use it, so there's no point in wasting that effect. We can mill 5 here, and just make our play. I noticed he wasn't, earlier I noticed that he wasn't playing any Ishizu cards, so I just started to mill as many as I possibly could, hoping to run into my 2 fusion names. Once I saw my 3 fusions, I think I just stopped making plays. I just started making my end board with my level 4s. And I brought out Merly, I think, so I had a target for Rukalos so that I can fusion summon next turn using a card that isn't Rukalos. Because Rukalos isn't a once per turn negate, it's just a once per turn resummon. So I would like to resummon every turn, and hopefully Rukalos doesn't even have to die for that. That's pretty much the idea. And then also Swamp is making it so that Rukalos can't be targeted, and then Time Thief was making it so that I could just hopefully activate effects if he does nothing. I negate the pot, and then I noticed that he was using Swords of the Revealing Light. I wanted to see if I could maybe top deck some sort of Havness play or something. Which I did top deck. I did top deck a decent play, but it's not going to help me too much right now. Especially since all of these monsters are turn face down. I can't use them right now as material. So, he Dimensional Fissures as well. So we have to play through Dimensional Fissure and the Swords of Revealing Light. These cards can't be turned face up, so I have to go into my Unicorn. This was when I was running Unicorn as my Link 3 play. I think I switched it out for Access Code. Access Code can do the same thing, but I got negated, and that got sent to the banish, so no more Access Code play. And then also, I forgot that every monster that was banished, including Elder Entity, won't be able to activate its effect, so I won't be able to use its effect to destroy Dimensional Fissure. So I just have to wait, pretty much. I have to wait until the Swords of Revealing Light will be destroyed. It'll be destroyed on the second end standby phase. I have to wait 2 turns, pretty much. Terraforming doesn't really do anything, so I just have to do it once again. Honestly, if he had a decent way to play against me, like I said, Dimensional Fissure really shuts down his board, so this got turned off, and at the perfect time, he also had evenly matched, so all my cards also got sent, but this did clear up my board, so now I can make more plays, and he only has 3,000 HP, so if I flip through Kalos, there's pretty much nothing for him to do. Yeah. Also, look at this. You can just send back your cards. Like, I could have sent back my Primeval Planet, and I would have been able to search it with Terraform. But, like, whatever he felt like he was doing, it really wasn't doing much. I mean, I'm going to be honest. You have to keep the cards on, and you also have to have a board. Like, you can't just only have negates. I mean, feels bad, man. Anyways, we're back into the mirror match. The higher you go, the more likely you are to play the mirror match. It is what it is. So trying to make Abyss Dweller is the game plan. Trying to make Abyss Dweller. Hope everyone's having a great week or weekend, wherever you guys are in the world. Alright, let's see what we do. We got Diviner and Send. Look at our hand. I mean, we don't have many cards, so we're just praying that we can mill into our fusion summons. He's also a mirror, so this game is going to be one of those games that we pop off. Thankfully, we have Max C, so he's summoning once. So we can mill. At least we can make sure that any fusion summons he does will give us a draw. You guys get Kalos first. I'm going to go ahead and summon my own. Mill 5 more, fusion summon once, and use Havness because he uses a monster effect. He uses Medora to spin me back, so I will spin him back. He spins me back again, and I don't use that effect because I want to keep the monsters in the graveyard. This will send the top 3 cards. Ritalis will search Sheeran since I haven't used Sheeran's effect on the board. This will activate all 3 of my fusions in the graveyard. I was hoping that he hadn't. Yeah, he's already used both of his shufflers, or I thought that he had used both of his shufflers. I didn't think much of this, but sadly I had to just watch. So now I'm out of my fusion plays, but I am able to do my level 4 play, and Baron is able to come out, but he negates that by sending Hellbeck. He summons a Hammer because I use this fusion summon, and he's able to start popping off on his own plays. Thankfully, the guy forgot that he was under Max C, so now I have a full hand. And I'm able to use Fairy Tale Snow, banish the top 7 cards, make another level 4 so that I can use it to make Baron to Fleur. And Fairy Tale Snow is broken to this deck, guys. I know it banishes a ton of cards, but consider this end board. Look at this. So he's ended with 5 cards. I'm going to be able to mill. And since I have 0 cards, oh yeah, I should have mentioned, this game went crazy. I mean, I'm really not giving this game the credit it deserves. If you guys want me to, I'll make a shorter video about this game. Let me know. And it'll just be an in-depth video, but it'll still be pretty long. So, but I knew that the top 3 cards in my deck were going to be, including Fairy Tale Snow, because I only had 3 cards. I had 2 cards, and he sent Fairy Tale Snow back. So I milled 3 using Scream because I summoned Havness. So I summoned Havness so that I could just get that mill, sending Fairy Tale, and Fairy Tale and the other card will be able to come back, sending, or just pretty much putting both of those monsters face down. And even though I had to use my Baron negate to keep this in the graveyard, I'm still able to make an Dark, and now that this monster's in the graveyard, completely negated, I'll be able to use my Dark to summon it back. And yeah, it's pretty juicy. This Fairy Tale Snow isn't even one for the turn, so now Fairy Tale Snow is able to send Destroy, and Kaleido, since it was special summoned, is able to send another card. So now we handled the board pretty well. We just have to deal with the Ritalis that's about to be flipped back face up. We tag out with Baron because Baron has already been used, its effect has already been used, and he mass changes us, so now we have to deal with all monsters are sent to the banish instead. Instead of letting that happen, we will negate that monster, and he uses a fusion summon because that monster, or one of his monsters, was sent to the graveyard. I used Kaleido because the Kalos was summoned. This isn't even my Kaleido though, so I have to wait. He was negated, but he was able to make a Baguska play. So all my monsters defense. Thankfully, I have Suliak, so Suliak will be able to negate the Baguska. But I have to choose between Baguska or Dark Hero, so your choice. In my opinion, I think the Baguska is more annoying because I'm able to make more plays. I should have sent the Masked Hero in this situation, since the Baguska was going to be negated and we can just battle the Baguska, but it didn't matter because we still had a normal summon at that point, so yeah. And keep in mind, that game was just 3 turns, guys. Compared to the other games, that was just, yeah, I decked out and I still won. Like, imagine that. So like I said, if you guys want another video, like a real video about that game, it was actually a really good game. But I'm not going to go into more detail than that right now. I'm just too tired. I'll keep these replays for like a day or 2, so if you guys want them, let me know. So we looked at our hand. None of these monsters would be able to play much. So we wanted to use Diviner to search our level 2s, or our level 4s, our Ishizu monsters. And yeah, now we want to make our Baron plays. At least Baron will be able to negate if they suck. And also we're playing a Sword Soul deck. I don't know, I didn't know that. I don't know how I would have known that, but I don't think I was afraid of playing against the mirror match with this hand. I had Havness in my hand and I was able to summon 4 at some point. We went into this play because I saw this play from Decade. It's a really good play. If you have already summoned your Reinhardt, you can just search Merly. Merly's a mill 3, and then Kalos is a mill 5, so you're milling 8 cards. And then we mill our Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail is so good because you can just keep summoning it over and over again in the same turn. So now we resummon Merly just to have level 2 to send with Zodiac, and now that'll be a free fusion summon on the next turn. Now we'll have a negate, fusion summon, another negate, another summon, a spin back. It just keeps going. It's non-stop pretty much. We're gonna fusion summon, we're gonna mill 5. We mill 5, the Aliester, but that was the negate. The Kalos will be able to spin back a card if we want to. Oh no, sorry, we'll be able to negate a card if we want to, and then we'll be able to fusion summon into our level 9, which will spin back the card, Kaleido. And then he hard drew Invocation, but that summons, so now we can use the Kalos. And since we sent Crime will be able to banish the Reinhardt that was banished earlier, so that's a kind of a little bit of brokenness. Sorry guys. Last game, playing against Ishizu with some spicy tech. Your opponent cannot banish cards. Shadow Engine, Herald, Mud Dragon. He's playing a little bit of everything, evenly matched. Yeah. These are up in Plat 1. I stopped playing this deck when I reached Platinum 1 because the games just become really sweaty, and like I just got 3 games in a row where it was like I played through Max 2, this Dweller, Baron. It was like, I mean, I could barely do anything with it. Felt pretty bad. If I find out a way to play more hand traps in this deck while keeping it consistent, I might come back to it. But for now, I'm just waiting to percolate pretty much let him play. Even though I have a Havness on the board, he never used monster effect on the board, so we get top deck Terraforming. Terraforming will search us. Since we already have Reinhardt, we're going to use Sheeran. Sheeran will send us Havness since we already have a Havness in hand. Fusion summon with the top cards in his deck. He has a Medora. We'll spin back whatever he has inside his deck. Hopefully that'll activate any of them. No more millers, Sheeran. Thank the Lord. So now we'll be able to mill with our cards. He negates our Sheeran. Thinking that this is our only play. I don't know if you realize we had a normal still. Fusion summons, making Kid Kalos. Kid Kalos will be able to search a card. Before that happens, I use Havness so that he can't use Havness, but he searches a Merlin instead, which made no sense to me. I use my normal summon to search Reinhardt, and then I was like, oh, he has Havness in hand. He sends top cards to his deck, makes a mills a shuffler, shuffles back in my deck, and then makes a level 9 play to mill me. I use Diviners so that I can mill top 5, and I can also make another level 6. Now we can go into Baron if we want to. Since cards are milled out of our opponent, or shuffled out of our opponent's graveyard, we're able to summon a Guido. Guido will summon back another level 4 from our graveyard. We're adding 2 cards. I'm not going to code to everything. We made a Baron to floor just so that we can get rid of the window. Then we can use Fairy Tail Snows, and look at this. Fairy Tail Snow will set Kit Kalos defense. Kit Kalos is 1200 defense, and we can beat over it with Sheeran, and now that it was battled, it won't activate its effect. We'll use Baron to destroy this card because Baron hasn't been used to destroy, and that card's effect had already been used. We use Fairy Tail Snow and Havness to make a dark play so that we can go into one of their dark monsters. They have Winda and they have Kit Kalos, so we can use either of those. But sadly, I was an idiot and put Dark in the monster zones where both of them are already used up. So we put it in a different monster zone, and it's GG easy. Got to summon the Winda here and won the game. Essentially, if I put it over here. So just keep that in mind. But we still have Crime, Omni Negate. We tag out Baron to Flare. I don't think we ever did though, because Baron was just too much of an oppressive force. Once per turn destruction is pretty good, and also we have a Abyss Dweller. Stop any graveyard effects, so at least one turn will pass without him being able to do anything. Like I said, Baron will be able to tag out, so even if we didn't have Sheeran or Rhino Heart in the hand, we'll be able to tag out with Baron and end the game. We also top deck Scream, which was beautiful. He destroys it. We Crime that, negate, then Sheeran. That'll just trigger all of our fusion summon effects. Megiddo will mill. Medora will shuffle. But thankfully, him shuffling will let me destroy another one of his cards. And then after that, Baron also still has a destruction. And yeah, that was the game. We still had a level 4 play with our Fairy Tale Snow at the end of that. So like I said, guys, this deck is broken. It's stupid. It's absurd. It's got all of the knickknacks, but I've been having fun. Hopefully, if you guys stayed to the end, you learned something, you had fun too. Let me know. Yeah, GG's. Let me know if you guys want to see that one game in full depth. I don't even remember which one it was, but trust me, it was good. Anyways, I'm done for now. GG's. Let me know if you want anything. Let me know any comments, concerns, like, sub if you want. Adios. Bye-bye.